Welcome back. I'm Captain Foley. How's it going? Hope you all are well. I see all of you commenting. I appreciate it. Keep it up. I'm going to slide my chair over this way just a tad. Just so you know. Mark has been a member for 29 months at the rank of Commander. Thank you very much, Commander, for your service. We appreciate it. It says, this reinforced my disappointment with Janeway. A little bit, yeah. It also... Well, she was both good and bad in this episode. What really annoyed me was the kids. The fucking frustration I had with those kids. Just say, we got your ship, we got something to tell you, there's a dangerous weapon on board, and just give us a minute to explain. That's all you need to do. Hey, Raymond Anders, how's it going? I was just talking to you. Sylvia says, do you have the puppy? Yes, of course I have the puppy. She's right there. She's sleeping. Casey Stewart, as a captain, I officially say Prodigy is the best new Trek, followed closely by Lower Decks. It's definitely close with those two, for sure. Just there. Okay. Tara, hey. Just want to apologize for being insensitive last time I was here. I've had like 10 episodes since then, so you may not even remember, but I realized I was a bit blunt regarding TOS. Oh, no, you were fine. Don't worry about it. BJ Turan, $1, so thank you so much, BJ. Please state the nature of the live chat emergency. Wait, how long was I offline? Did Samuel finally release the ring ship Enterprise? Has it been 100 years yet? No? Okay, then he hasn't released it. List of Jericho. I'm still confused why there was a Kazon there. Their space is way off. Because they've traveled this far? It's fine. Sylvia says, okay, good. I heard her squeak. Yes, I got off the couch to come upstairs, and they didn't follow me right away. So she kind of screamed when she realized I was gone. Let's do the Murph maneuver. The new Murph maneuver, says Ozzy. And Chuck A, Murph-tastic episode. This was a good episode. I did find it extremely frustrating, though. And when it ended, I was sitting there watching it, and when it ended, I'm like, fuck you. Because it ended it in a place where I was like, what? Why would you do that? Kind of aggravating, just a little bit. That being said, everything that happened in this one was interesting, at least. But the fact that nobody told them, they each ran into Starfleet officers independent of each other. Rock even almost did. And Rock is like, what, you didn't tell them about the weapon? That's the only reason we came here. I thought that was hilarious because it's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I get that they're kids and they're scared about the situation or whatever, but I think that's kind of stupid, personally. Matthew DeFridas, this episode reminded me of Broken Bow on Rigel and Timeless from Voyager. Joseph Connor, I am new to the channel, said I love Star Trek Prodigy. Yes, Star Trek Prodigy is great, and thank you for being new to the channel. Hope you enjoy the content, and welcome. Hope you have a good time on the live. Jonathan Bell, really not into the poor communication kills trope in this episode. That's kind of an ongoing thing in all media, though, to ramp up the drama. If characters just talk to each other, problems would be solved so much easier. I also get very frustrated with that kind of shit. But I understand they got to make a show. They got to make it dramatic. They got to make it interesting. So. This is Jericho. They kept the silly gimmick that the Romulans were always in the neutral zone and they shouldn't. Yes, that's true. Terra, too many species on that ice planet, a la Star Wars scum and villainy. Well, it was an outpost trading station, and they do make a point of saying it's for people that are trying to hide, people trying to get away. So yeah, that's kind of the point, though. So, but 30 people here, 18 likes, guys. Hit that like button and super chat if you're able to. We'd really appreciate it. It all helps out, and yeah. But hit that like button. Easy to do. Joseph Medetz, the 2 animated series can do more and better dramatic action episodes in 24 minutes than a whole season of Discovery and Picard. You're not wrong. Is the ice planet the one in Voyager? No, absolutely not. Fleetpaw, I said fuck you too, but because I was so engrossed with it and it ended. Yeah, me too. I was like, all right, this is cool. It's going to get good. Oh, no, credits. Thanks. That's why I said it too, Fleetpaw. Jonathan Bell, they're kids, sure, but they must have known they would get blamed for the station's destruction. You'd think it would have crossed their minds, yes. And Dal even makes a point of it as they're leaving, going, I think they probably think we destroyed that station. Chuck A. Diviner recovery is quick like when? It is, yes. Raymond Andrews, I would like to see Lower Decks and Ghost crossover. Lower Decks and Ghost? Grant McGregor, Rock's missing the Starfleet officer was shot wrong. You have her looking around like she did, and when the officer walks into the frame, you cut to a close-up of Rock obscuring the officer out of focus. Yeah, I agree. Tara, yes, you can hear the dog snoring. I have 2 pugs here, and they're pugs, so it's going to happen. Somebody online said Diviner race could be Iconian race. Oh, fucking everybody says everything is the Iconians, so who gives a shit? Somebody online said it's Iconians. Well, the Iconians were supposed to be brought into Picard. The Iconians were supposed to be in Discovery. Everybody's like, it could be the Iconians that caused the burn. It could be this. It's always the Iconians. Stop with the Iconians. I get so sick of hearing the word in Iconian. Wondered how... Joseph Connor says, I was wondering how to Star Trek Prodigy on TV. How to watch it on TV? If you're in Canada, it's on CTV Sci-Fi. Other than that, you've got to have like Crave in Canada, or Nickelodeon, or Paramount Plus. It definitely ended abruptly. Frustrating. Yes. Pumpkin Spice. I remember on TNG when the guy wanted to disassemble Data, it's like they found Soon's library and tons of parts. No one remembered. Alyssa Jericho, I was expecting an Easter egg of having the Falcon in the background. I was looking for some Easter eggs with the ships too. That would be kind of neat, but not something as recognizable as the Falcon. Ozzy, Rocketeer to the rescue. Yeah, that is Bill Campbell, who played the Rocketeer, and Captain Okuna. I call him Hakuna Matata because I can never pronounce his name properly. But yeah, so 22 likes only, guys, with 42 people here. Come on, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. Just give it a like. Let's get that like number up. Pumpkin Spice Ghost, the CBS comedy. I don't know. Olivia says, Lola, that's what us puggy owners call the runt of the litter. Yeah, pretty much. She should be named Pog as a result, because if she was Tellurite, you know, she would be a Pog. She is the runt of the litter. Raymond Anders, I see dead people on the ship. Don't know what you mean, Raymond. Fleet Paw throws in $2. Pug and Puglet snores are adorable. Yeah, but they're kind of annoying, and people don't understand I have a dog. Everybody, like, not everybody that watches understands I have a dog, so they hear these noises and they're like, "Are you okay? Is your stomach all right? Did you fart?" It's like, no, I have pugs. Carlos says the editing for this episode was very choppy and the end was so flat. I can see why you'd say that. Yes. War God 6, I'm behind. I'm still at the Shuttle Galileo episode. I think they are a little clumsy why they didn't beam the whole shuttle up, so it didn't blow up the cave and cause damage to the environment. Because they couldn't? Where would they beam it to? Into the ship? Because they had to get close to use the transporters. I guess you could have beamed the shuttle up into the bay of the protostar, but they don't need that volcano anyway. Pumpkin spice. It would have been better if anyone other than who did cause the burn caused it. Wouldn't have been though. So, Chuck A. Where was Terry Hatcher cameo with Akuna? Well, she wasn't in this one. Pog the Pug. I like it. Yeah, Pog the Pug. Fatty and Akana. That's Space Scallywag. Pumpkin Spice. The Protostar is the Falcon, and the Dauntless is the Star Destroyer. War God 6. Just got here, was playing STO, and had my notifications off, but I'm sure it would have came usefully. Would have come. Pops up if I'm using my device. I'm glad you're here. New Murph is a technical officer. I don't like New Murph. This is Jericho. Zindy reptilian on an ice planet. That must be torture for them. I thought the same thing, you know. They're cold-blooded. They need warmth to kind of get going. But, yeah, I thought the same thing, actually. Captain Casey Stewart. Now we know for sure the Protostar can at least get to warp 9.97. Or 9.97, yes. Wasn't Voyager like the fastest ship in the fleet like years ago at 9.975? So even faster than the Protostar. But the Protostar's got the proto warp engine, or the proto drive, so that's cool. At least it did until it got smashed with a torpedo. Project Achieva. Dal spinning the transporter pod thing was slightly referenced to Phantom Menace. I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. I mean, sure. Olivia, this episode was way better than Peanut, Hamper, and Bird Boy's romance. Yes, 100%. Stephen W. Fathry from Text Trek is here. Good evening, Mr. Fathry. Good to see you. Fleet Paw, a proper Klingon, Zindy reptilians, and a trio of the Deridex warbirds. Oh my. Yeah, lots of good stuff in this episode. Trek or not, this episode reminded me of Elite Force 2. I haven't played that in a while, so I don't know why you say that specifically, but Tara says, yes, Voyager 9.975. Fleet Paw throws in $2. Is this Warp 4? Laughing my ass off. Good line from Wakana. Chuck A says, good night, Captain. I'll see your live review tomorrow. Good night, Chuck. Yeah, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our full breakdown, scene-by-scene review with both me and Samuel. So if you can tune in for that, we'd appreciate it. Grant McGregor, you thought the Zindy being cold was a problem. The Andorians with the hoodie jacket was a sin. Well, it's part of the uniform, though, so it's fine. Green juice is turbo powered. Raymond Anders warp 9 point. Holy crap. Carlos A. Smith, warp 9.975. Voyager, yes. This Jericho, is that Andorian supposed to be part Vulcan? I kind of was wondering the same thing. It's got very pointy type ears. I think it's just the animation style, honestly, but it could be that he is part Vulcan, which would explain the jacket as well, because jacket. Vulcans like it warm. They like it a lot warmer. Vulcan is a pretty hot planet, and Spock liked his quarters being warmer. So yeah, that could maybe balance it out. So he needs the jacket. If you're going to be that nitpicky that an Andorian shouldn't be wearing a jacket, that might be a good explanation for it. So. Captain Casey Stewart, was Enterprise E warp 9.98 or 9.99 max warp? No, possibly, but they came after Voyager was built. At the time when Voyager launched, it was the fastest ship in the fleet at warp 9.975. So, Pumpkin Spice, William Campbell was also up for the role of Riker during casting. Yes, he was. Fleet Pass says Andorian in a hoodie wasn't horrible. If you remember, Shran wore cold weather gear along with Archer when they went to Andoria. Cold weather gear is fine on Andorians. Thank you, Fleet Pa. You're absolutely correct. Trek or not, the snowy Romulan outpost level, specifically the art design, was very similar. List of Jericho. I did like the hooded variant uniforms. I just wish they were wearing first contact uniforms. Yeah, I like the new uniforms though. Those, I like the hoods. I like the fingerless gloves. I think it looked really good. So Murph turned into a Sour Patch Kid. Yes. Rich Klein throws in $5. How's the snow in London, Ontario? Prayers for the people of Buffalo and environs. Can't wait for Jellicoe. The snow is fine. We had a little bit last night. It kind of melted all today because we got above freezing. Got a little bit more of a light dusting now, but nothing major. Nothing major. And Ontario, the abbreviation is ON, not OT, just for the record. Pumpkin Spice, Kirk's Enterprise beats them all. Warp 14. Wrong warp scale. That's the old warp scale. So, no, it doesn't. Nice try, though. Project Achieva, Dal's logic at the end that Janeway is a Federation ship wouldn't follow them into the neutral zone was strange, considering they are in a Federation ship themselves. Yes. And I hate that how that Okana says, well, we can just modulate our shield frequency and we'll be invisible. Because Janeway could do that too then. They did mention there are talks, there are negotiations going on with the Romulans currently, which I thought was a nice touch. But what a way to end the episode, though. My God. And one thing that bothered me as well, when they were being chased by security to the ship, those security guys can't shoot for shit, man. You got a solid beam weapon, and they're missing the people they're chasing. At one point, you see like a shot from inside the floaty vessel thingy that the Dal and the other ones are in, and you see the two beams like crossing in front of them. That's not how beams work. If you're driving a vehicle that has a solid beam, like you fire and it's like a phaser beam, all you gotta do is point the front of your vehicle towards what you want to hit, and it'll hit it. It's not like a pulse where it's like each one is independent. It's very easy to hit things, and to have them cross in front, that must have been quite the positioning, because Dal and them would have been here. One guy would have been back here, and the other guy would have been over here to have the beams crossing in front of them. It just seems so weird. Fleet Paw, I think you're right. Yeah, the Enterprise E was warp 9.985. Tara disagrees and says it was warp 9.995. That doesn't ring a bell. 985 does, though. So how fast is Riker's ship in Picard? Don't know. Grant McGregor, if you had someone with Aina and Vulcan parents, do you think people would be afraid of them, seeing them as some eugenics superbreed weapon? I don't know. Mr. Anderson, Tom Paris beats everyone. Warp 10 equals everywhere at once. Arguably worst episode of Voyager, but still. It's not the worst episode of Voyager by a fucking wide margin. Threshold is actually a good episode for the first half of it. The first half is very well done. The ending with the salamanders and just how it's left, they just leave them on the planet, is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. But it is by far not the worst episode of Voyager. I can tell you that 100%. Workforce would probably be the worst episode of Voyager. I can't stand that episode. Carlos Smith, Vulcan and Andorian cannot mix. Vulcan has copper blood and Andorian has blue cobalt base blood. Yeah, but medical science and Enterprise, Phlox said that Vulcan and human probably couldn't either, but I think he gave them like supplements or whatever. So Pumpkin Spice, the two Voyager characters you think would be helping Janeway look for Chakotay is Tupac and Annika Hansen. I think you mean Tuvok. And if you were going for Tupac as a joke, that's not how you spell Tupac anyway. But there you go. Captain Casey Stewart, the fastest should be the Galaxy X Enterprise D. Probably was, but we never got the numbers for it. Trek or not, there is a Star Wars influence in Star Trek now. The stupid shooting comes from the Stormtrooper trope. It's been there even in Star Trek before that, so. Project Achievo, like a poor marksman, you keep missing the targets. Mr. Anderson, Stewart, the security guys practice their shooting skills by rewatching ancient recordings of Star Wars, thinking Stormtroopers were awesome. SC Scout guy. Also, the kids killed a couple of Zindy by throwing that box at their vehicle, causing it to crash into a mountain and blow up. Yeah, I noticed that too. Could be that, well, it went behind the thing before you heard the explosion, so it could be that it went behind, he ejected, and got thrown into a snowbank, because you don't know. Carlos A. Smith, and yes, a lot of liberties were taken in the illustration of this episode. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories, O'Connor wouldn't get in much trouble if he'd just stick to being a DJ. That's right, he was a DJ in Lower Decks. Project Achievo, also a bunch of Zindy died, one in a fiery explosion. Nah, they're Zindy. They're still dicks. Those Zindy reptilians, I absolutely hate them. I cannot forgive them for what they did to Degra. And just the cruelty and the viciousness and the sadistic nature of the way they killed him. Like, they slit his throat, and as he was dying, he said, I'm going to do the same thing to your wife and your children. So that's the last thing, as his life is leaving his body, that's the last thing he hears. So he can't even be at peace while he dies. He's got that, and he looks terrified on his face. So screw the Zindy reptilians. Tara, yeah, props for Threshold. Awesome theory behind the episode. Yes, the first half is fantastic. I love Threshold, like the first half of it. But like I said, the salamander thing's a little weird. It wasn't explained very well, and just the way they left them on the planet, that's really a bad idea. So, Rich Klein, the outpost had the feel of a Star Wars outpost. The Zindy soldiers aim and shoot as bad as stormtroopers. Joseph Barbato, Workforce is pretty bad. The one with the nightmare clowns too. Yes, Fear. Yeah. Captain Casey Stewart, Galaxy X is warp 13, I think. Yeah, I think I remember hearing something like that too. must change the warp scale again or something. Shren the Orc. I hate the way Murph looks. I do too. I do too. Ozzy, just look up go to warp 9.95 warp speed Enterprise E. Pumpkin Spice. Oops. LOL. Tuvok. Yeah, that's not how you spell Tuvok either. Tuvok is Tuvok. There's no C in Tuvok. Jonathan Bell. Workforce makes me like SG1's Beneath the Surface more. Oh yeah, SG1 did that so much better. SG1's episode, Beneath the Surface, is far superior to Workforce. Workforce is atrocious. Awful episode. Trekyards. Probably a new warp scale, though, with slipstream being a thing. Yes. Yeah, the warp 13 thing would include this either slipstream or transwarp or something. It would be a different warp scale altogether. Pumpkin Spice, or Vulcan rapper Tupac, nephew of Spock. Mr. Anderson, standard sci-fi fare. We never saw the Zindy bodies, so how do you know they died? Exactly. It's also like G.I. Joe. Nobody ever died in G.I. Joe. Every time a plane blew up, you'd see a parachute. You'd never actually see anybody die. So, yeah. Tara throws in $3, so thank you so much, Tara. Who thinks Murph will continue to evolve? How far? Oh, I think he'll continue to evolve. Who knows what his final form is going to be? But I think he's like a Pokemon at this point. He's gonna keep eating until he evolves to his final state, and it's probably going to be some like super intelligent creature. I have a feeling that he's not going to be voiceless anymore, or by the end at least. Ozzy, so Janeway can go on a mission by being a vice admiral. Yes, she can. Listen, Jericho, LOL, you sound like Kirk with the Klingons. Let them die. Yeah, well, fuck the Zindy. I'm sorry, but it's awful. Trek or not, warp 3 3/4 takes you to Targwarts. So funny. But yeah, seeing that Klingon was awesome. It very much reminded me of like a Star Trek 3 Klingon, specifically for some reason. I think it's probably just the hair. But that was awesome to see, 100%. Yeah. Yep. Don't know what to say about that. SC Scout Guy, Admiral Janeway looking kind of thick in this show. So? It's an older Janeway. It's fine. I look thicker than I used to, too. It's not a problem with that. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories, but is Tuvok a good rapper? Listen, Jericho, Stargate Workforce had the funny Simpsons joke. Which one? I don't recall. Pumpkin Spice, what about the Kaczynski warp scale? There you go. The Kaczynski warp scale, 100%. Captain Casey Stewart, I'm curious if the proto-drive will be faster than the slipstream. It is. They've already established that. So yes. Yes is the answer. Wonder no longer. Yes, the proto-drive is much faster than a slipstream. Robert Westfall, hey Cap, got news for you. I start as a dishwasher at a nearby local eatery tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Just don't lick the plates. Tara, I've been wondering about them paying or crediting a voice actor for every episode for Murph when he just makes gurgling noises. Not to diss that skill, just that he will surely speak a language soon. Here's hoping. And yeah, I think he's going to be somebody like super intelligent, maybe even turn into like a non-corporeal being at the end. Who knows? It'd be interesting to see the development. Although we already have it established because of going to the relay station that it's a Melosian slime worm. It is Smurf species, so they already know what it is, which is weird to me. But anyway. Jonathan Bell, heck, the short scene when the Air Force officer calls the city administrator a liar is better than all of Workforce. Yep. Workforce is far worse than Threshold. I would absolutely watch Threshold over Workforce Part 1 and 2 any day of the week. Mr. Anderson, one thing I just considered, Janeway targeted the Protostar's third nacelle. Pretty bad idea if it's tied directly into the Proto-Warp Core. You're right. Also, she was targeting third nacelle before it was even activated, which I thought was kind of weird. Yeah, she doesn't want it to proto jump. I get that, but it was enclosed within the ship when she gave that order. She must have known, or they must have been getting energy readings that they were building up for a proto jump. So, yeah, okay, I'll buy it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. If that has feedback damage into the Protostar, that's on board, that could be pretty bad. Bad news for everybody. Springtime. Warp 13 could just be TNG's Warp 9.3 or Warp 8, as the D was an older ship and maybe not the fastest compared to newer ships. No. The Enterprise D, I think its maximum warp was Warp 9.5. Don't recall offhand for that one, but no, the Enterprise D was a fast ship. SC Scout Guy, thick, not thick, Stuart. Thick is a good thing. Yeah, thick is... Don't tell me I don't know my slang. I know there was no K on it. I know what thick means. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with her being thick. I know you're saying it's a good thing, and I agree. Bring it on. Pumpkin Spice, Janeway Booty. Let comic book guy know. Grant McGregor throws in $10. Thank you so much for the super chat, Grant. They should have introduced Okuno when he stepped into frame with the same stance and device he was carrying to remind viewers. I wouldn't have remembered he was in TNG without spoilers. Mr. Anderson, Vin Diesel is credited for Groot, and all he says is, I am Groot. He does it for every language, too, by the way. Robert Westfall says, no, sir, I won't lick those plates. Good man. Tara, how will they sell a plushie of a non-corporeal being? Yes, he's a slime worm. They could just sell dry ice and throw it in a thing. And there you go, you got your non-corporeal being. That's fog. Or the Murph fog machine. Have your own Murph. I don't know. But see, there's going to be like 5 iterations of Murph, I'm sure. Like, he's going to evolve a few times into the chrysalis stage where he's in a cocoon and he's going to come out to be something different. You're going to do it at least 4 or 5 times. So you got there, right there, you've got 4 or 5 different plushies to sell. So his final form, you don't need the plushie merchandising because you've already got all the other Murphs to sell. Grant McGregor, Murph in his second form is what you call the terrible twos for a toddler. Yeah, I would agree. Fleetpaw, melanoid slime worm. There you go. What did I say? I don't know. Tara, yeah, I don't mean the guy shouldn't get credit, just that if Murph was ever only going to make dolphin sounds, they would have recorded them once and repeated them for years. Carlos A. Smith, she hit while it was out. Low yield torpedo to disrupt the function. Yeah, it was very likely a low yield torpedo. You did get some sparking and damage off of it, but still, the fact that it was either in the midst of deploying or fully deployed, and it was ready to jump, you could still get feedback into the main system. So it was a gamble, I think. Mark says, I thought it was odd too that she ordered the third nacelle targeted before it was visible. Maybe bad editing. Not bad editing at all. Because how many times in Trek do you hear they're powering up their weapons, or their weapons are fully charged and locked on? You can read the vessel's status with scanners and sensors. So yeah, they would definitely be able to tell they're building up for a proto jump. So I have no issues with that. And that's the only way they were going to get away from the Dauntless, because it's a slipstream ship. so it can go faster than their highest warp. So, yeah, it's not much of a problem for me. I think it's a sign that he will be speaking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that Murph will be speaking at some point. SC Scout Guy, it could be that traveling at proto-drive speed somehow made Murph evolve. That, or maybe the element they were mining in the asteroids did something to him. I like that. I like that this is a unforeseen consequence of either the proto-jumps or the chimerium that they were mining. Yeah, it was chimerium. And a chimera is just a mixture of animals combined into one. So, yeah, I think that's probably the case, honestly, for Murph. It's just, they know what a melanoid slime worm is, but they have not had it exposed to whatever Murph has been, so they haven't seen this whole process. So, yeah, I'd buy that for $1. I'd buy that for $1. Yarmixon's craziest theories. I'll do you one better. Why is Chakotay? Fleet Paw. Enterprise D was warp 9.3, then 9.6 for 12 hours, and then short burst of 9.8 emergency speed. Gotcha. Tara says, and they'll get all my money for Murph stuff. I don't know what I said, but apparently I didn't say melanoid, and I apologize. Robert Westfall, well, gotta go. Permission to shut down the stream for my sleep study. Permission granted. Get out of here, Robert. Do good on your job. Pumpkin Spice, where is Voyager in this series? Commanded by Tom Paris? Voyager is probably at the Starfleet Museum at this point. Voyager got put into a museum when it got back. So yeah, Voyager's not in active service right now. Raymond Andrews, before I go sleep, the badge is all metal. Thank you. Yes, Raymond is sending me an awesome, really cool badge, which I should be getting December 18th, he said. And I'll show that when I get it for sure, because it looks really cool. Mark Henson, I've been drinking. Well, congrats. I'm also going to take a drink. Bright Starline. I've heard of butt dialing, but butt torpedoes is hilarious. That fucking annoyed me. There's been a meme going around for years of Riker hitting on a girl, leaning back on Worf's tactical station. And it says, makes fun of the fact that he's flirting with somebody and accidentally fires a photon torpedo and starts an intergalactic war. And it's like, my response to it was always like, yeah, but the touch panels are smart enough to realize it's capacitive, and somebody that's actually assigned to the ship to be able to fire the torpedoes, like DNA reading. So there's no way that just sitting on it's going to do anything to any of the buttons, which made perfect sense. And then this episode came along. Now, that being said, Murph was not wearing pants. Murph is a capacitive organic creature. So I really don't have an issue with that, but why are the torpedoes locked and loaded and armed for launch? They shouldn't be in the tubes unless you plan to launch them. So I don't know. I have an issue with it, and yet I don't at the same time. And then it's just the misunderstanding that it causes. It just makes the kids seem even worse. Like, they destroyed this station, they stole the ship, they got rid of Chakotay, they kidnapped Gwendella, and now they're firing at Janeway. It's like, it's a snowball effect of shit that's just gone wrong, and I hate it. I hate this comedy of errors shit. Pumpkin Spice, where do all the guys think Chakotay and the Protostar crew are? They're in prison. The Diviners said as much. He said it in the last episode or the one before. Janeway asked him what happened to Chakotay. I believe the diviner just said he was imprisoned. Didn't say by me. I imprisoned him, but he didn't say that. So, Mr. Anderson, without the possible timey-wimey stuff, Prodigy is supposed to be 2383. Tom Paris is still lieutenant on lower decks in 2381, so probably not a captain yet. That's probably a safe bet, yeah. Tara, just seeing your shirt, but can't see all of it. What's it say? It says, build the ship, the Enterprise Project. If you go on Facebook and look up the Enterprise Project, a man by the name of Enoch Lofton wants to actually build a full-size TOS Enterprise and build a community around it. And, you know, so he sends out these shirts. I've done a captain's log on it. So just look up the Enterprise Project on Facebook. You can learn all about it there. And also look it up on YouTube. It's, like I said, I've done a captain's log talking about it. So, yeah. He sent me the shirt. Ooh, Mark Henson, I'm still at the bar. Hopefully someone will take me home. Hopefully they're pretty. Springtime, Tom Paris could be in command of the USS Voyager A in Prodigy. No, that would just be stupid. I don't want Tom Paris to be in command of the Voyager. I think that's kind of dumb. But SC Scout Guy, I like how the Tellarite officer just totally shit all over Jankopai. They're Tellarites. That's what they do. They're argumentative, and they're very not likable. They're very gruff. Tara, no clue, but why am I thinking there was almost no crew? Just Chakotay and Hollow Janeway. There was a crew. There was a crew. It wasn't just Chakotay and Hollow Janeway. But it was a small crew because it's a small ship. So I'm willing to bet probably a crew of 30 to 50, because it is, we've checked out the dimensions on that ship. It's fairly small. So some of them could have got killed, but I think they're going to find the entire Protostar crew when they find Chakotay. Maybe with one or two exceptions, but Mark says, it reminded me of the EMH accidentally firing a torpedo on Starfleet ships in Message in a Bottle. Yeah. What's this button? Or trying to modulate shields, or no, trying to hail them. It's another Federation ship. Hail them. You fired a torpedo. See those kind of moments, like with Murph sitting on it and the EMH Mark II firing the torpedo. Those are writing tropes just to make something funny happen or something like inconvenient to happen. Whereas realistically, the chances of that happening are pretty obscure. So, Tara, holy crap! Build a full-size Enterprise. Okay, I will look it up. Cool. Mr. Anderson. That accidental torpedo was caused by the EMH Mark II not selecting a target, so it defaulted to, I guess, the nearest ship. Yes. Pumpkin Spice. Oh, LOL. Real Enterprisians. Yes, real Enterprisians. Or God 6. I'm sure Harry Kim is an ensign still, though. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. Who would make Tom Paris a captain? He evolved over the series, but not that much. Pumpkin Spice. Which Enterprise? The D would take a while. Oh, the one that's on my shirt. The TOS one. That one. Grant McGregor. The biggest offense in this episode was Dal finding the sole person he was told he could trust in the galaxy and not say, I need your help. Kids don't banter when they need serious help from an adult. I totally agree. Hologram Janeway even said, if you get the opportunity, get the real Janeway's help. And Yeah, running into Janeway, he should have been like, thank God we found you. We have a problem. Just listen to me for 5 minutes. We have a weapon on our ship that destroys anything Starfleet. We have no way of getting it off. Boom. There you go. That's all Janeway would need to hear. But no, have you ever wanted something so bad that you're afraid if you ask for it, blah, 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 blah. That bugged me a lot. That bugged me a lot. It was so frustrating. Equinox-sized crew, most likely. Yeah, very close. Fleet Paw Swiftback. I would say Protostar is smaller than a Nova, maybe 75 meters max. Oh yeah, it's a little bit smaller than a Nova. Not too much. I'm trying to remember what the sizing is now. We figured it out. But that was a while ago. It is smaller than a Nova. But not by much. Springtime says Harry Kim is an ensign in command. Is an eng in command of the secret cargo shuttle 7 in his mind. SC Scout Guy, Jason Alexander voiced the Tellarite officer, but he sounded nothing like George Costanza. That's because it's voice acting. You change the pitch of your voice to sound like another character. That being said, Bill Campbell didn't sound like Bill Campbell from The Rocketeer. He's definitely aged. Although if you look up a picture of him as he is now, that's exactly how they made him look in the show. So I think that's fantastic. Minus the eye patch, of course. In Stargate, when O'Neill starts to remember a man who is bald in short-sleeved shirt and says it's very important to him, saying his name is Homer. Yes. Tara, I guess Janeway only cares about Chakotay, though, LOL, I mean, crew? What crew? Yes, a small crew. Mr. Anderson. Before I get to Mr. Anderson's, though, Tara, yes, Chakotay was going to the Delta Quadrant as like a second contact ship to go back and visit some of the places that Voyager was to make sure everything was fine. So he said we can get back a lot faster. And if we need to, I can consult the Hollow Janeway for any problems I run into. Ha ha ha. So yes, he obviously had a crew with him because they were going to be gone for quite a while. He would not have been alone. It's just that simple. So Mr. Anderson says Protostar looked tiny facing off against the Dauntless, and the Dauntless is definitely a smaller ship than the Intrepid class, which was 340-ish meters. Yes. That's a fair assumption. Captain Casey Stewart. Oh, Captain, I did email you about possibly getting to name a ship. Good, because I asked Samuel earlier when we did our Indiegogo live earlier today if you had contacted him, and he said no, so he was hoping you would be on that live, and you weren't there. So I'm glad you emailed. Pumpkin Spice, with George Costanza in the voice cast, it would be a surprise if the think tank shows up again in this series. The think tank from Voyager. Yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Ozzy says, in Starfleet, we say make it so. Yeah, that was a good line. That was good. Yeah, there's a lot of frustrating parts in this episode for sure. And I get it's for dramatic. I get it. I'm glad they're all aware of each other now. They're all. It's not, just missing each other or whatever. I'm glad that they're very quickly kind of caught up. Now I hope it wraps up in the next episode. For the misunderstanding, at least. I don't think it will. Because the last 2 episodes of this season are called Supernova Part 1 and 2. And the game, Star Trek Prodigy Supernova, that I've already done a complete playthrough on the channel, happens between Part 1 and Part 2 of Supernova. So, and the kids are by themselves then as well. So I don't know what's going to happen. Excuse me. That was a yawn. Please, nobody else yawn. Mr. Never mind, I read that one. Here, Mixon's craziest theories. I buy Dal not thinking to warn Janeway. First, he wasn't expecting to meet her there and was working up, telling her that what was going on. Second, he immediately panicked, which is a good thing to do. Yeah, when he saw Barnes Frex coming in, he did panic. But I would feel so relieved to see Janeway after being around the holo Janeway for so long. I would be like, "You're just like your hologram," and she'd be like, "What?" And then you could say, yeah, we have a hologram of you on on the ship we borrowed to escape from slavery of mining." Like, there are ways to do it, but I get it. I get it. He is a kid, and yeah, he was caught off guard. That's fine, but it's just frustrating. It's so frustrating. I can buy it too. I just hate that I have to. Yeah, the stumbling block for them is we stole the ship. We stole your ship. We don't want to look bad to Starfleet. I get it, but it's one of those things that just annoys me. Captain Casey Stewart says, I was in the live at the end because of work. Gotcha. Grant McGregor, the only interaction that made sense was between Gwen and the ensign, exactly how the kid would run away from an abusive parent. Yes, when she heard, I love that the ensign put it together, that you're the same species. You said your name was Gwendala? No, you must have me mistaken. No, your dad's on our ship. He's looking for you. I love the way that was put together. That was beautiful. And then, yes, Gwen's reaction to that was actually genuine. I actually said that in our review, and I'll be saying that again tomorrow when we do our complete breakdown and review. So, yes, she was terrified that her dad was on the ship, and an abusive parent. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that one made sense. Rocks kind of made sense, where she kind of overlooked the Starfleet officer. That's fine. Jankum Pogs even frustrated me. It's like he got all offended, but that's a Tellarite thing to do. And the doctor insulting him is also a Tellarite thing to do. So that's kind of funny, I guess, but very frustrating at the same time. So, yeah. Ozzy's yawning. Fleet Pa said, I have a feeling that Janeway is going to board Protostar with an assault team and find out. Then the Dauntless is going to blow up and leave her and her crew stranded on the Protostar. Interesting. And I wouldn't be opposed to that, actually. Janeway's kind of disappointed me, though. Not as much as she first did, and not as much as I expected her to. But she calls Barnes Frex out for being a bad officer, which I love. What kind of officer doesn't answer their comm badge? And you didn't say they were kids. And it's funny because we asked Aaron Waltke why there was only one guy on this relay station. That made no sense. Because you have a crew of at least 6, so you can switch off on shifts, 3 each or whatever. And then Aaron said, well, maybe he's just not a good Starfleet officer. So they wanted to get rid of him in the farthest outpost. I kind of like that's kind of being all tied up, so. This is Jericho. They should have kidnapped Janeway. Good luck with that. Pumpkin Spice. Barnes Frex is the new Jabba the Hutt. Tara. That would kill a lot of Starfleet officers and crew, though. Captain Casey Stewart, I like the ensign so far the best of the Dauntless crew. Yeah, I would agree. Pumpkin Spice, who would win in a fight? Thick Janeway or holographic Janeway? Thick Janeway. Fleetpaw, the explanation the Dauntless Doctor made about Jank Pog explains why he doesn't look like a Tellarite. He's essentially like an albino. Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting too in this episode to see just how short the kids are compared to everybody else. Even Dal was quite short next to Janeway, and Janeway's not overly tall. Gwendala and the ensign are pretty much the same height, so it all kind of makes sense, right? So Jankum looks more like a Talaxian. Dauntless blowing up is good so that the virus doesn't spread until it calls for help on subspace. Tara, I think kids watching are supposed to ask parental figures about it, like why didn't they tell Janeway or ask for help? Then you have a lesson for the episode. Maybe? But what kind of lesson is that? Don't trust strangers? Janeway is not a stranger. The holographic Janeway even said, I recommend you get in contact with the real Janeway. I don't know. It just seems weird. Mr. Anderson, what kind of officer doesn't answer their comm badge? Well, ask Christopher Pike. That's not a comm badge. That's a communicator. That's a little bit different. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. It's the one assignment below Starbase 80. No, he was assigned at Starbase 80, but the guys at Starbase 80 couldn't even handle him, so they shuffled him off. Ozzy, he will be going to Starbase 80. Lucy Jericho, I thought that was Starbase 80. I thought that's what Starbase 80 was for. SC Scout Guy, how do you think Dal's race will come to play in the series? I have no idea. No idea at all. Unknown species contact Starfleet immediately. I don't know. I have no idea. Pumpkin Spice, what are your theories on Dal's genetics? Why is classified as Starfleet? I don't know. A lot of people have said some silly shit, like his species is responsible for the Borg, shit like that. And it's like, no. I don't know. He's maybe a genetic anomaly or something. Maybe a Starfleet experiment gone wrong. I don't know. I have no idea. Tara, the lesson is ask adults, especially ones you know you can trust for help. Don't try to go it alone. Fleetpaw, I think the lesson would be it's always safe to tell an adult something, even if you think it will get you in trouble. Yes, even if you lied, just don't lie about lying, because the more you lie, the more you're compounding your punishment, essentially. So, there you go. Springtime, do you want a 22-minute Starbase 80 short trek? Yes, that would be great. Starbase 80, clerks in space. Instead of smashing a printer in a field, they're smashing a replicator on the shuttle bay floor. I like that. Oh, you said clerks. I was thinking Office Space. Sorry. Clerks, yeah. Yeah, Starbase 80 and Clerks. I like that analogy as well. That's a good one. That's a very good one. Can we get 10 more likes, though? We have 40 likes. I'd like to get up to 50 if possible. Been pretty light on Super Chat, so if anybody can Super Chat, I would really appreciate that. It's a 5, a 10, anybody, that'd be amazing. But yeah. Pumpkin Spice, Dal is Janeway's amphibian son from Threshold. Watch that be the answer. Holy shit. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Let's make Thresholds a better episode by doing that. Sure. Jonathan Bell, so he's about as useful as Stanley Tweedle. I don't know who Stanley Tweedle is, so... Grant McGregor, Jenkin Pog should have cried when he was insulted, would have fixed the scene. He's a Tellarite, though. But it would have worked. I will say that. I think a tear might have worked in that instance for sure. So, yeah, sure. I'll buy it. Fleet Paw throws in $2. I will pay Aaron to not make Pumpkin's idea true. Mr. Anderson, I have 3 suggestions for possible Trek live-action spin-offs. Star Trek West Wing, Star Trek JAG, and just Star Trek with a primarily alien crew and captain. All captains have been human so far. West Wing and JAG, seriously? I disagree. And Tara yells Saru for a non-human captain, but that's not the captain that started the series, nor is it the captain that they currently have. He was a temporary in-command captain. You could say the same thing about Spock being half Vulcan. He was also a captain, so... Sorry, but Saru wasn't the captain from the beginning, so I know what he means. A show that starts with an alien captain and ends with the same alien captain after 7 seasons. So, there you go. Human captains and alien crew, that's the USS Titan book series. It is. Not exactly true. Sisko was part wormhole alien. He was also a commander at the beginning of the series and not a captain. So, again, it's a slight flaw. He didn't become a captain until what? Season 3? Season 4? I think season 3. So, Ozzy says Star Trek, few good Starfleet officers. Starfleet, the right stuff. Mr. Anderson, the Alien Show's suggestion was basically flipping the standard equals mostly alien crew and captain, 1 human outsider instead of 1 alien outsider. I like that idea, absolutely, yes. That's one of the things that people complain about a lot in Star Trek, is all the ships are named after, historic Earth battles or historic Earth famous figures, and majority of Starfleet is human. Despite the ideals of Starfleet, with all these, 150 Federation member worlds and all that. So I get what you're saying, and yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to a show like that. That's actually a very good idea. So, yeah. Pumpkin Spice, captains in Starfleet, anyone but a woman, Gene Roddenberry. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't get Tara started again. Liz Jericho, Discovery started off with a wizard as a captain. How is Lorca a wizard? Mr. Anderson, the Federation is the Homo sapiens only club, so I guess that makes sense so far. Oh, Jesus. Fleet Paw, yes, but hear me out. Well, it's not the right here, Fleet Paw. We was always in command of Deep Space Nine, so according to naval tradition, he was a captain. I know, I'm aware, but I'm just being technical and being a bit of an asshole, because that's what I do. Tara, Alien Show is a good idea, but corporate America would freak out about who we're supposed to relate to, but But of course, many of us relate better to the non-humans. SC Scout Guy, we have seen an alien Starflight captain this season. That's true. Jonathan Bell, Tweel is the main character on Lex. His title, Assistant Deputy Backup Courier. Yeah, I haven't seen Lex yet, unfortunately. I've seen like the odd parts of episodes every once in a while, but I haven't actually seen the whole show, so I apologize for not knowing that, Jonathan. Ozzy says, or Starflight, few good Starflight officers. We need a Starflight show. Fleetpaw, good lord, the typos. Arg, I'm usually better than that. You are. I will not make a joke that you aren't, but yeah, you're pretty good. Captain Casey Stewart, is this supposed to be after Nemesis? Because I would have thought the Romulans would be more friendly, like Commander Denatra was to Picard in Nemesis. Yes, this is after Nemesis. And if you listen, there's a line of dialogue saying that they're in talks, they're in negotiations with the Romulans currently. So, yeah, they are friendlier. But still, you don't, just because you're friendlier doesn't mean, A, that you're Denatra and have a personal investment in a human because they helped you in a battle or you helped them in a battle. And B, you don't just let the people you're negotiating with and are a little bit friendly with now wander across the neutral zone at their own discretion. So I see nothing wrong with the way the Romulans are represented here at all. Lorca was in Harry Potter, Malfoy. Okay. Fleetpaw, Lorca was played by Jason Isaacs, who played Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter. Yeah, but that's not his character in the show, so your argument is invalid. What's Lex? Lex is a sci-fi show. Jonathan Bell, Lex was a Canadian-German co-production, yes. Lex was on late night Cinemax. This Jericho, there was that ship in DS9 that just had Vulcans on it. That was less diverse. Yeah, but there was a all Vulcan crew in TOS as well, in the Immunity Syndrome. The USS Intrepid was a Constitution-class ship that was comprised of entirely Vulcans that got destroyed by the single-cell anomaly thing. So it's not unprecedented. Mr. Anderson, as for my previous human captain comment, the lead character has always been human. Kirk, Picard, Sisko, Janeway, Archer, Burnham. Lorca wasn't the lead of Discovery, Burnham was. Yes, but that's because it was supposed to be not focused on the bridge crew, but like the other officers on the ship. And then it quickly just sidestepped that 100% and said, fuck that, we're not doing that, because that was Brian Fuller's idea. Lorca should have been the focus. Lorca was I like Lorca. I thought he was an amazing captain. Even if he was a Mirror Universe version, I don't care. I still want to see Prime Lorca in something, because Lorca was an amazing captain. Samuel disagrees with me. He says he was very un-Starfleet. No, he was like a wartime Starfleet captain. I thought he was fine. A little bit of a hard ass, focused on the drills, focused on the crew doing what they needed to do. I liked them. I liked that kind of captain. E.R. Mixon's craziest theory says Dal is probably an Iconian. Fuck off. That would definitely raise some flags and stuff. Again, Iconian. Oh, Jesus. I don't know if you're serious about that or if you're just saying that to annoy me from what I said earlier. Sideshow Kaz stuff. Lex was better to watch if you're high. I can definitely see that. It's got a sexy kind of element to it as well. Tara, okay, thanks. I have not seen that in the U.S. Well, it was aired in the U.S. Just because it was a Canadian-German production doesn't mean it wasn't in the U.S., Tara. It was, I think, pretty big in the U.S. Jonathan Bell, it was on Sci-Fi, pre-Sci-Fi in the U.S. Pumpkin Spice, Vulcans only on the USS Intrepid 2. The USS Tacumba was in Deep Space Nine. Tara, oh wow, must have missed that. So you guys recommend it? It's sci-fi, so yes. I still need to watch it. It's on my to watch list, and I have it on the I have all the episodes downloaded on the computer, so. Pumpkin Spice. The Asian lady was captain in Discovery when it started. Giorgio. Captain Giorgio on the Shenzhou. Yeah, I suppose so, but... Tara, first captain in Discovery was Giorgio, though human, yes, but neither Lorca nor Burnham. BJ says he likes Lorca too. Awesome. Mr. Anderson says Prime Lorca would be cool to see, yes. Or hell, any character played by Isaacs, because Isaacs is awesome. He is. We got a chance to speak with him in Vegas, and I kind of threw Samuel under the bus and said, I really liked Lorca, even if he was a mirror universe, but Samuel never liked your character. Thought you were a bad Starfleet captain. Yeah, he's very nice. He's a very friendly guy. Very nice person as an actor. Kind of plays more of the asshole type roles, but a very nice guy. So, Jonathan Bell. It requires a certain taste for weird. That's for Lex. SC Scout Guy, Lorca was a motherfucking man and deserves his own series. Hell yeah. Springtime, wouldn't it be cool if classic view screen was shown on a window mode, showing the top view of the saucer from the bridge? That would be kind of neat. Dave Gregory, oh yes, Lex, weird is good. Tara, isn't everything better to watch if you're high? Probably yes. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. If I was trying to annoy you, I'd say Dal was an Organian. That wouldn't annoy me. I'm just so sick of hearing Iconian. The Iconians are going to show up in Discovery. It was the Iconians behind that. The Iconians are behind the red signals. The Iconians are doing this. Maybe it's the Iconians doing this. The Iconians could have done that. Maybe it's the Iconians. I bet you it's the Iconians. That's all anybody ever fucking says. Tara, at least when you're high, everything seems better when you're high. Fleetpaw, I like Lorca as well. Would definitely like to see him again in Trek. Question is, how long could Prime Lorca have survived in the Mirror Universe before being found out, executed, returned to the Prime Universe? Well, there's no proof that he switched places with the Mirror Universe Lorca. He could have stayed in our universe, and Lorca got pulled over. And I think Prime Lorca is smart enough and a good enough captain that he would be able to blend in very well in the Mirror Universe if needs be. However, there's a lot of theories that he never actually crossed over to the Mirror Universe, and he was actually wounded, stayed in this universe, and maybe he'll show up in Strange New Worlds at some point. Who knows? There's some books that focus on him, I believe, after the incident. There's one that focuses on him before the switchover. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't mean he had to swap with the other guy. BJ says Disco had captains the way that Kleenex box has tissues. Discovery captains should be like Kleenex. Soft, strong, and disposable. Grant McGregor, $5. Captain, I've been here long enough to know your tongue, and I'm shocked you haven't watched Lex. Remember to watch the uncut version, wink wink. Yes, I know, I am also shocked I haven't seen Lex. Like I said, I've seen parts of episodes, and I really want to watch Lex. I will make sure to watch the uncut versions. I am also shocked. I am embarrassed for myself. Bright Star Lines. I don't get why the Romulans are complaining when they are the ones who are illegally in the neutral zone. Yeah, we make a point of that. If you watch our edited review that comes out tomorrow afternoon, Samuel brings that up. The neutral zone is not like 40 meters wide. It's like multiple light years across. It's like a DMZ. It's like a demilitarized zone. It's this no man's land, and it's large. And yeah, they're basically right up to it. Like they're in it. So Pumpkin Spice. So why did Mirror Universe O'Brien, Kira, and Bashir cross over to our universe when their sides did? Because that's just the story elements that they wanted for that episode. You can have a one-off where it's not a one-for-one switchover. I don't see the problem. I don't know why everybody's all uppity about it. There doesn't have to be a one-for-one switchover from Mirror Universe to Prime Universe. It's fine. My computer sounds like it's going to die. I gotta clean the fan. Tara, totally agree. That was annoying. Mr. Anderson, Prime Cisco passed himself off as Mirror Cisco just fine. I'd assume something similar for Prime Lorca in the Mirror Universe. Yeah. Jonathan Bell, speaking of Mirror Universe, did anyone ever get the 2020 Hallmark keepsake? Oh, the TOS crew? I didn't get the characters. I don't get the character keepsake ornaments. I did get the tree topper. I've got the TOS Enterprise tree topper here. It's been here for 2 years. And this year I got the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. I tend to get the ship every year, but not the people. I don't really give a shit about the characters. I just care about the ships. Grant McGregor, speaking of Captain Lorca, his dialogue referring to Elon Musk is hilarious now. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. But you gotta remember, that was the Mirror Universe Lorca, so maybe Elon Musk in his universe is a better person. I don't know. Trek or not, I'm still trying to get a 2023 Ships of the Line calendar with the Defiant Cutaway art. Nowhere to be found in the UK. Well, I currently have 2. Tara, what did he say about Elon Musk? I don't remember. That Elon Musk's name will be remembered with the greats, and I forget. You want your name included with blah 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 and blah 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 and blah blah and Elon Musk. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories. I think the point was that Lorca was on track as a great captain, but he couldn't put his past behind him, and when he thought he would lose the ship, he immediately started backsliding. Good tea, nice house, throws in $5, so thank you so much. Am I the only one who thought it was weird to see a Kazon in close proximity to Klingon and Zindy? We're in the Alpha, Beta, and Delta. Where in the Alpha, Beta, or Delta are they? They're close to the Delta Quadrant, but still close enough to be at the Romulan and Federation. They're in Federation space, but they're close to the Delta Quadrant. I have no problem with that. There's no problem with the Kazon having traders that go out that far. I have no issues with that at all. So, everybody, don't get your panties in a twist. It's fine. Pumpkin Spice, time to crash. Live long and prosper. Check or not, I'm jelly. Well, you should be jam. Tara, oh yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. Grant McGregor, I have the YouTube link of the Elon Musk quote, if I can paste it. You can't paste links unless you're a moderator. Maybe Fleetpot can find it and post it. Mr. Anderson, I think it was something along the lines of Einstein, Marcus, and Musk. Albert, Carroll, and Elon, respectively. Jonathan Bell, you need a man, a red hot love and stand. If you need to be satisfied, I'm your guy. Forget Kai, you need me, 790. I have the technology for thee, sweet thing. I don't know what tune that's supposed to be, but there you go. And Tara says, I will search YouTube for it. Well, Fleetpod is usually good at putting links in, but I don't know. I don't know if he'll do that or not, but as a moderator, he has that ability, so. No, but in summary, great episode. Loves seeing Okuna there. I hope he sticks around for a little while. I really like his character. I really like Bill Campbell. I'm a huge fan of the Rocketeer. I just hope this Janeway, Diviner, kids thing gets sorted pretty quick. There's Fleetpaw. He's got the 21-second clip of it right there. Thank you, Fleetpaw. The kids all got something funny, good to do, I think. I love Rock's reaction. You all talked to Starfleet, and none of you told them about the weapon. That's the whole reason we did this. I thought that was fucking hilarious because that's exactly what everyone watching was thinking. So thank you, Rock, for that. Janeway, I think, was actually fairly good in this episode. A nice balance of stern, needing to do her job, but still willing to talk to this kid, and but then when she finds out it's them, she kind of gets like, and I love how she takes that on Barnes Frex too. Like, you didn't say they were kids, like, jackass. So the fact that they're kids, I think, should temper Janeway a bit, but she's very much seems to be driven by her emotions, which her first officer points out, which I actually appreciate. The whole thing with Chakotay, she's gone a little off the rails. I think she still feels responsible for her crew, that she mothered all the way through the Delta Quadrant to home, and yeah, I hope Chakotay shows up sooner rather than later as well. I hope there's a good resolution to this season. I don't want a massive cliffhanger this season. We know there's another 20 episodes in season 2, but when we're going to get season 2, who knows? Probably the end of next year. So I don't want to have to wait that long for a massive cliffhanger. So I hope there's a good resolution to this season at least. I'm kind of glad they found the kids so fast, and not drag that out till season 2, because that would have been annoying. I know it's going to be difficult to explain why the kids still have the protostar after everything's explained and Starfleet gets the weapon off the ship or whatever. It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. But I think this episode was really good and a fantastic cliffhanger for sure. Love seeing the Romulans back. Classic Klingons. The Zindy are there. There's a lot of really good stuff in this episode, I gotta say. Even burying the ship in ice or snow, I thought that was great. I love how Hollow Janeway's like, how long have you been gone? I want to hear all about your adventures. How long was I deactivated for? It was over before it even started. Yeah, not good. Oh, hello. So there's some really good moments in this one for sure. But like I said, there was a lot of really frustrating shit as well. So it's kind of a tough one for me. I want part 2 so I can. I think parts 1 and 2 of this one, because I think it's crossover part 1 and crossover part 2, or Crossroads part 1, Crossroads part 2. I hope that as one piece they're very cohesive and you get some explanations. You find out the Diviner's an asshole. That'd be great. I don't want him talking in Janeway's ear for multiple episodes. So yeah, I mean, it was a good episode, well structured, well paced, and I'm looking forward to reviewing it tomorrow and seeing what we score it, because Prodigy's just been consistently good, and yeah. Captain is your Ferengi character FCA? He might be. You'll have to find out. BJ Chiron, that sounds like Elon Musk at Twitter. Looks like they have been on the edge of the Beta Quadrant since their jump, which would track for both their proximity to the Federation, neutral zone, and areas Kirk explored. Absolutely. Fleetpaw says, so, theory, what if Musk is actually a Trek fan, and that line influenced him to do that batshit crazy stuff he's been doing lately? I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to be a Trek fan at all, so who knows? Mr. Anderson, I was off. Wright brothers, Elon Musk and Zephyr Cochrane. So one fictional legend, one pair of legends, and soon-to-be-filled businessman. He's probably a Stargate fan. Who, me or Musk? I'm a fan of most sci-fi, including Stargate. Tara says KM has said that Janeway was a very emotional ride this season. Or Kate Mulgrew said that Janeway was a very emotional ride this season. So I'm assuming she gets to Chakotay before it's over. Cool. Good tea, nice house. Says it still doesn't make sense for Kazons to be 70,000 light years away from Caretaker's array. When you put it like that, sure, but maybe the Caretakers flung a ship of Kazon close to the Beta Quadrant, and so these are just a small little faction of Kazon that are in the area. It's a good point, though. But see, the thing is, the Prodigy team doesn't do anything without talking about it and having it make sense. You'll definitely find that out when you hear our interviews with Aaron Wolke. They actually have brainstorming sessions where everything has an answer. Everything has an answer. Even things we think are plot holes, it's just because they didn't have enough time in the episode to explain it. So the Kazon being here definitely makes sense in some form. I just don't know what that is right offhand. So, but they're very good at making sure that everything makes sense logistically and canon, and so I thank them for that. So if it's there, if it's in the show, there's a reason for it, and it's not just haphazardly thrown in because they thought it'd be cool to have a Kazon. There's definitely a reason for it. Jason Isaacs got to play British Admiral in World War II film Operation Mincemeat. Mr. Anderson, burying the ship in snow and ice, I immediately thought of Voyager Timeless, but these ships have fairly strong hulls, so the snow wouldn't really do much. Voyager was damaged and crashed into the ground. Yes. When they landed the ship, they're like, are you just leaving the ship there? Like, you can see that from orbit. You know, somebody's going to see it. And then they phasered the mountain to cause an avalanche. And I thought, okay, cool. It's actually buried in ice or buried in snow. Which, yeah, for a starship is no problem. Their hulls are strong enough to withstand that. I have a feeling Janeway will admit to Chakotay that she has feelings for him, like fixing mistakes in the Delta Quadrant. She wasn't to fix a mistake with him. Tara, I know a lot of JC shippers that will be very, very sad if there isn't some kind of happy resolution between Janeway and Chakotay, myself included. Hello, Captain, and all. Hope everyone is well this evening. Sorry for the delay. I'm working on my recreation of Danny Elfman's theme music from Batman, the animated series. Cool, Donnie. Good to see you. E.R. Mixon's Craziest Theories. Think more in terms of these particular Kazons as being more like the boomers from Enterprise. They are a trading ship taking long voyages. Yeah, and 70 years is how long it would take. And I have no problem with, being a boomer ship and just a freighter. You know, they're just nomadic. They didn't want to be part of a particular sect like the other Kazons. And, no problem with that at all, actually. Caretaker's array is destroyed at this point, though. Yes, but I mean, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, Caretaker was still around and not demented and sent a Kazon ship to the... I didn't say now. That's just stupid. No, not now. Like 70 years ago or 100 years ago sent a Kazon ship that way when it started going demented, when the Caretaker started getting the dementia. Who knows? And they've just been... They're stuck. They can't get back to their home, really, unless they do the 70-year trip. So they're just making do with what they got here, living on their ship, or they found a little planet or moon that they're living on. I have no problem with that. I think that's a perfectly feasible explanation. Mr. Anderson, Kazon could be anywhere, really. How do we know the Caretaker didn't kidnap a bunch of Kazons from another part of the galaxy, just as he did with Voyager? There you go. Fleetpaw, these Kazon could have been from the Trabe before the Kazon uprising. The Trabe could have gotten as far as the Alpha Beta Delta borders when the Kazon overthrew them. Again, perfect explanation. There's got to be an explanation. I will try to remember to ask Aaron about that, but I'm sure there's an answer that the team has come up with, because the Prodigy team is fantastic at that kind of thing. They definitely keep things canon, they keep things prime. They are Star Trek fans through and through, and everything is done for a reason in that show. So I have no issues with that. Same with Lower Decks. Lower Decks and Prodigy are both on the same page as far as canon and prime timelines go. We've seen more than enough evidence in Prodigy that it's prime timeline, as opposed to the Discoverse. The Discoverse is not. So, as much as they want to tell you it is, it's not. So just stop with that thinking. It's clearly not. Visually, it's not. Whereas, Prodigy shows us TOS. It looks exactly like TOS should, and that's great, because DS9 did it, Enterprise did it, TNG did it. They all showed TOS exactly as it should be, because it's a period piece. So, yeah. Unfortunately, the outlier here is Discovery and Strange New Worlds. Those are the outliers for the 50 years of Star Trek history. So you can't say that they're retconning TOS to look like Strange New Worlds, because that's just fucking stupid. Whatever. Anyway, yeah. I have no problem with the Kazon being there. It's fine. Oh, that's right. Blueprint to null space stolen from the caretaker station was destroyed, but the thief was never found. Da-da. Tara says, okay, but caretaker brought ships to him to seek a mate. I don't remember caretaker sending ships back, but maybe he had a few millennia prior before meeting him. He was bringing them to him in the later stages of his life. Who's to say, like I said, 100 years, but that's not long for the caretaker. Let's say 300 years ago, he wasn't experimenting more when he was a younger lad, and was sending ships all over the different quadrants, and he sent a bunch of Kazons to the. You don't fight me on this. Just think outside the box, and don't go. Well, he only brought people to him. That's not how that works. He was going a little bit mental at the end there. That's why he was doing that kind of shit. So it could have been that when he was a younger lad, he decided he wanted to do some experimenting and threw a Kazon ship 70,000 light years away or whatever. Who knows? Anything's possible. Could be another spatial anomaly that sucked the Kazon ship through a wormhole and ended up in the Beta Quadrant. There's so many different theories that you can make in your mind as to why something like that happened. And that's what we like to do here on Trekyards, is come up with answers to questions like that. Now, I know for a fact that there will be an answer to that from the Prodigy team themselves, because, like I said, they definitely talk about all this, and they won't just throw a Kazon in for shits and giggles. There's a reason that the Kazon's there. So. Mr. Anderson, Voyager Conspiracy 7's evidence showed a Cardassian Galore class and mentioned that it was destroyed by Chakotay's ship in the Badlands before Chakotay was sent to the Delta Quadrants. Okay. Captain Casey Stewart, Prodigy is A+, Lower Decks is A, Strange New Worlds is B+, Picard is C-, and Disco is D-. I'd say this Disco's an F, but Tara, not fighting you, sure, all these things are possible. Exactly. And we like to talk about it here. So Donnie says, Captain, I agree. Thank you so much, Donnie. Trek or not, in fairness, a wormhole could have been found linking the quadrants. Donnie says, I do agree with Captain Casey Stewart on that. Oh, you agreed with Captain Casey Stewart, not with me. Okay. Oh, on the ranking of the shows, yes. Mr. Anderson, fan theories are great. Not everything needs to be explained from point A to point B to point C on screen. People are free to make up their own ideas. Exactly, until they actually come out and tell you the reason. Disco is a cluster F+. Fan theories are great. Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. I'm kind of getting drained a little bit here, and I think we've covered the episode well enough. Didn't go too far off the rails this time. I'm sure we did, talking about Mirror Universe and Lorca and getting hung up on Kazons. But overall, we stuck to the topic at hand, and that was really good. So I appreciate everybody for that. I'm not going to go the full 2 hours. Like I said, I'm feeling a bit drained all of a sudden. and not quite as energetic as I should be to continue going on. So I would just like to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. And by all means, check out our full breakdown tomorrow, where we actually analyze things scene by scene, frame by frame almost, and discuss all that cool stuff. And maybe Samuel has a good theory about why the Kazon are there as well. So I'm interested in getting his take on that. But yeah, I'm going to definitely ask Aaron Waltke about that, because it's a very good point. So, and on that note, no, Aaron is not on the show tomorrow, no. But we will be talking to him soon about a few things. We'll have another interview with him coming out soon. So, anyway, on that note, we do not need to get off the rails, Fleet Paw, as much as you'd like to. We're not talking about cheeseburgers or food. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry for cutting it a little short, but like I said, I just all of a sudden felt very drained. So, fight the good fight. See you guys tomorrow. And check out all of our videos and content we have coming out over the weekend. Some really cool stuff. So, and of course, Donnie gives it a 10 out of 10. That's just Donnie's way. So until next time, I'm Captain Foley. Live long and prosper. Stop saying live long and proper. I told Aaron I hated that he did that. But anyway, until later, have a good night.